Tool? Not present. Commissioner Peters, Chairperson Peters. Thank you.
All right. Non-agenda items and visitor public comment time. We allocate 15 minutes at the beginning of each meeting for issues that are not on the agenda. I don't see anybody present here that may wish to present. Is there anybody online?
I don't see anyone online.
All right, let's go on to agenda item number 3, consideration of the June 17, 2026.
Recording in
meeting
progress.
minutes. Everybody's had a chance to review any proposed revisions or other corrections.
I just have one on the first page, under item number 3, the correction of the last meeting minutes. There's a statement that says the phase running from the lake to Moffett Road is 1/3 complete, and it should say the phase running from the lake to Moffett Road is substantially complete.
All right. Thank you, Member
The whole
Russell.
project is 1/3 complete, but that part was substantially complete.
Thank you, Member Russell. Anything else? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Agenda item number 4. Mr. Morgan, if you want to present that, please.
Certainly. We have Peter Whitmer here from Whitmer and Associates, who have been working on the project at 120 East Scranton. This application is a variation to add roof trellises, pergolas. You'll see those identified in my report. There are 4 individual pergolas at 4 individual properties, and Mr. Whitmer was nice enough to coordinate signatures and authorization to apply on behalf of all 4 owners. This property and project received a height variation to go from 30 feet to 35 feet previously, the structure in its entirety, and these pergolas do not exceed that 35-foot what was approved previously, but because this is a change, a variation was required. You have printouts of the presentation that I'll put up on the screen here in just a moment. And of course, if there are any questions, we have our applicant here.
Yeah, and Mr. Whitmer, if I could swear you in first, then we'll be ready to go. Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you very much. Please proceed.
I didn't, Max, did you give people the photometrics?
Yes, that is printed and available for everyone, and I'll put it up on the screen right now. Is that where you want to start?
Yeah, well, no, let's go through. Well, thank you, and thanks for the opportunity to come back in front of you and get this. So this is, just to remind everybody, we got a PUD for the project, so it was a planned unit development, had setback variations, height variations with all that. Unfortunately, we didn't have the trellises in the original PUD, and I think somewhat of an oversight for us. As people bought, it was pretty evident that this is their outdoor space, so this is basically their backyard. And because of it being on the roof, there really is no shade. You know, like I was thinking about, okay, what's the difference between a single-family house in these? They have terraces. They have, instead of grass, they have artificial turf. They have some landscaping items, but they don't have the benefit of having larger trees to shade. You know, like in most backyards in Lake Bluff, there are larger trees that give you some shading. Here, you're a raisin in the sun. You know, so, and I think, you know, based on the age of people and really the shade structures are pretty important. You know, unfortunately, if we were to not be able to do these, people would end up having to use umbrellas and those sorts of things. And I can tell you from personal experience, it is a challenge to keep umbrellas attached to the roof, you know, during thunderstorms and all those sorts of things. And so it isn't ideal. So having a permanent trellis that is basically fastened through to the structure of the building below and also to the penthouse to keep them from diagonally braced really makes a lot of sense. We've done these on our other buildings. I think they're a lot more visible on the McKinley projects that we have. our experience is that these are manufactured, and for what we're doing here, they aren't made out of wood. We've made the other ones out of wood, and really the durability of it, having to paint them, do all that, they get beat up pretty quick. So we really think it makes a lot of sense to make them out of aluminum and anodize them. They'll be black like the rest of the finishes on the penthouse themselves. You can see here, do we have a pointer? Is there any pointer?
Do we have one?
Do we have one? Is it here somewhere?
Forgive me.
I didn't bring mine this week.
Yeah, okay. Well, I think you guys, there's 4 of them. They're 14 by 16, and one's a little bit larger in the southwest corner. Yeah, that's one. That's the one. Drew, you're really good at that.
Our pointer.
You stay right there, Drew.
True Vanna.
Yeah, so those are the locations in the floor plan. We're showing the full sort of landscape package with it. Colleen from Mariani Landscape, who's done not only the landscape around the building, but also then has designed these for the individual owners for their rooftop space. So let's go to the next slide. So this is the manufacturer that we're going with. You can kind of see this one has some planters, but it's basically a pretty straightforward square structure. There are some small 2-inch recessed lights that are up in the structure itself that give a little lighting to the space down below. We're showing those, and that's what that photometrics shows.
If you want to walk over and use it.
Oh, okay, great, thanks. Yeah, so the photometrics show that really there's no light spillage out. That's the last one, I guess. There it goes. So there's no light spillage. There's 0 out at the edge of basically these terraces, the landscape area, so it doesn't even get near to the outside edge to show the light spillage for that. We had previously approved a downlight, which you can see below that it shows that is attached to the penthouse itself. Again, our thoughts there it's a LED bulb that's underneath, so that there is no exposed bulb that you can see. It doesn't have any spill out for that. The ones you can now see on the building, we just put the ones in the front. They're more historic looking lanterns, which are a little bit more historic looking, and I think appropriate for the building itself. These you won't be able to see from anywhere. All right, so then maybe we can go back to the, just keep going.
Tell me when.
All right, go to the next one there. This cites, the next one shows a section. So this just shows how they work in terms of section and the sight lines from the ground. They're pretty close to being invisible, not quite. We took the worst case kind of scenarios, and I'll show you, I think the next slides are kind of, so here is, if you're east on Scranton, sort of at the corner, you can see, put a little red dot there, and that little red triangle is where that is. So you can see it just at the top edge here.
So that's the actual pergola,
That's the top edge of the pergola. So you can just see a little piece of it. I think them being black helps them to disappear too. But you can, I don't want to give the impression that they're completely, you can't see them. So then the next one, so that's a little further away, which is funny, you can't see it from a little further away. So really your vantage point is you really have to go look for it to find it there. Now the other direction, so this is yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is if you were coming out of Prairie. And then, so this is probably where you see it the most. You can see the black frame up. So this is basically mid-block of 120, or of Scranton. Then this is at the corner then, where it's pretty tough to see it. You can see right the top little piece of the corner there, in there. That tree, that green, is the large tree in the yard of Chris's yard in the backyard behind the building. There will be some landscape planters that you'll see landscape above that edge going around that. So there'll also be some green that you'll see especially this corner here where the planters are a little closer to the walls. The other ones, the landscape is far within inside there, which won't really allow it. The other thing is we have a white membrane on the roof, so it just heightens the glare, of it and sort of needing the additional shading. So I think it is a unique situation that we have. I don't think that this is a thing where a lot of people would be able to do this, and we had thought, I had thought, well, okay, well, what if we had, and we had looked at this early on too, is trellises in the corners on the lower, so the person above that corner where those little flags are. We had originally looked at the possibility of having trellises on the corners, and we really felt like they were kind of imposing and they made the structure look that big. We really liked the idea that the corner was eroded. And the other thing that they do is they shade then the interior space, and darken the interior. So I think that having them on the roof makes a lot of sense. In the units, just to remind everybody, a second floor unit is only on the second floor. So they don't have, the first floor units have a covered porch area and then a landscape down lower, but the second floor don't have the benefit of that. Really, their roof is their backyard. So I think that's sort of a summary of what we're asking for. We're hoping that we can get approval. Just the project in general is going, tell you a little bit about just where we are and what's going on. They're all sold, which is congratulations. We're really excited. The first people are trying to move in within a couple of weeks, which is going to be interesting. I think it's been a mix of longtime residents of Lake Bluff. There's a couple from Lake Forest, and then there's a couple from Minneapolis. So it's interesting, the mix of that. I mean, while I think we're very proud of the building and how it fits in town, and how it fits within the CBD and all that, and have worked really well with that. But also how it has served the community in terms of providing something for older people to really stay here in town, and they have an ability to sell their house and really stay here, and it's really what they've wanted. I don't know that market is huge. I'm not sure we can have. And I'm sure Deborah could probably speak to this. There's probably, 20 would be too many. I wouldn't want to be risking, but 8 seems to be about the right number. As time goes on, we'll see how that is. But I do think this is a good model to see and how things get developed over time. And then this can just sort of be a piece and be interesting to see how, other blocks of Lake Bluff get developed and changed. So with that, I'll just open it up for any questions or comments that people might have.
Yeah, we'll adopt and incorporate by reference you're addressing the standards for variation, so we don't have to go through that.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to just, we're architects, not attorneys, so we're better at perspectives and those things than we are writing down. I know it was pretty sparse in terms of what we had there, but I do think there really is a hardship in terms of not allowing. I mean, I'd hate to see people put umbrellas and that sort of things, that you're going to see these umbrellas of different colors and all that stuff poking through on the roof and all that the same way you're going to see these. There's nothing to stop people from doing that. So I think this makes a lot more sense to have this organized, and people really will enjoy that. All right.
Who'd like to start?
I just have a,
Yep.
yeah, I just have a question. How do you get them up there?
So they come in pieces, and
Just, okay.
yeah, I know you can see our we have a lift, basically a crane. It gets,
I didn't
and
know
actually,
if you had to drop them in by.
no, they assemble them up there.
Okay.
But when we do we'll be doing the roof. We're waiting really for this approval, and then we'll start probably. When do you think we'll start the roof?
The one there goes in by October.
End of October. Yeah. So what we have to coordinate is I think we're renting a crane and just crane everything up at once, so it just goes and
Yeah.
gets it there. Yeah.
Thank you, Deb.
That's it.
Yeah, Jill?
I think it's a great solution, considering the alternative would be with the weather getting stronger and the winds, ripping down Center Avenue Prospect, and I'm sure tops of buildings. I'm glad that you're going to have something that's structurally sound and embedded on the roof versus the alternative, and you're right, we're not going to be policing if they do put an umbrella up there. So I do think that it's a beautiful solution, and I'm glad that you're not exceeding over the 35 feet. And having it structurally sound, I can only imagine that it's going to be bolted in with aluminum. I'm just curious about what determined your height. Like, did you look at would it have solved this case and not see it at all if you had lowered it a little bit? Not to, you know,
Basically what we have is, we have 8 feet underneath the beam of the structure itself. So we have to build up, so it has a roof membrane, and then we have the pedestals are set, and they're approximately 12 inches off the ground, so you sort of raises it up that high. And then what we felt was the minimum height that we could have is 8 feet, which would be the same as our door heights and our head heights of all that. And then the structure itself is like another foot two above that. So we felt like it was down as low as it could be. And the nice thing is it's still below, they're level where the side of the penthouse is pitched to let the water come off, so they're at the lower level, so that they're going to be flat for that.
yeah, no, I don't have any, I would be in favor of it. I think it's a great solution.
Thank you, Ms. Danley. Mark?
Just a clarification, is the penthouse built out, completely finished?
Yes.
Because I was walking the area today trying to see if I could see it from any angle, and you couldn't, which
You
is-
can't really, yeah.
That was that gave me a good perspective on imagining what the proposal's gonna be, or, what it might be.
Yeah.
So I was just wanting to get clarification on.
Yeah,
if
yeah,
that
they're
was fit.
they're all sided, they're all finished, they're
So
on the
that's as
out.
big as it's gonna get, the
Yeah.
penthouse, yeah.
Yep.
And you can't see that from anywhere, I tried.
You can, from one little spot.
Yeah, I didn't find that
But you
spot.
really have to know where to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay, that's it, thanks.
Thank you, Mark. Elliot?
The pergolas are slatted,
Correct.
so it's just gonna diffuse the light, obviously.
No, they rotate, so they
Oh, they
actually rotate.
Oh,
So you can have them flat, to be 100% shaded, and then they open up if you wanted to get light underneath. See, they're open, but they actually turn and
Is that mechanical or electrical?
it's actually motorized,
Wow.
yeah.
Can you do one at my house?
And they do make them. You can get, this is a little bit more durable ones, but you can get them on Amazon too. Actually, what's that? No, I know, but it's amazing how well they work for the drainage pieces and how they go down. And they basically catch the rain across on that channel, and then it goes across and goes down into the tube, and then goes down the columns for the rain too. They're really integrated pretty well. It's an interesting design. And I kind of like that they're nondescript, from that perspective.
I have nothing else to add. I think it's a good idea.
Thank you, Elliot. George?
Yeah, I'm not opposed to this proposal at all. It's very, very minimal impact, and the point you make about the owners up there possibly putting up their own umbrellas or things like that could blow off the roof or have different colors. This is much, much less obtrusive, for sure. I do have a couple other related questions, if I may, since we're drawing to the end of the project. I noticed that the parking spaces on Oak haven't been built yet, and I'm wondering,
Yeah, we're just getting ready to tear it out, and we're just talking about today. I don't know why they didn't tear it out when they did the curbs on the other side. They should have, but Carl's coming back and do that, yeah.
and then in rereading the ordinance yesterday, it reminded me that there was a requirement that the sidewalk across the top of your underground garage exit be something different than a straight sidewalk. And I'm wondering if that solution has been developed yet. There's a provision in the code that it cannot be match the rest of the sidewalk to try and slow people down that might be crossing in front of cars that are exiting, going up that steep ramp. It's in the ordinance.
Okay, I got it. I'll look into that. Yeah.
So, yeah, if it's been, I'm glad I'm raising it.
Yeah, because
Because
we could right.
It was supposed to be a different demarcation of some sort.
Yeah,
to
we can look at
slow
that.
down pedestrian traffic, especially kids that might be traveling north they could run right out in front of that driveway as cars are
Come up.
trying to accelerate up that ramp.
Yeah, I will look in, yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
And I could real quickly, after the meeting, show you where it is.
Yeah,
but
no,
I
I'm
won't
sure it
dig
is.
out.
I
And
just-
then,
yeah, I
and this is no slight upon you, because this is a pet peeve I have, and Drew will let you know that I've complained many times about this in the village, but I was extremely disappointed when the honey locusts and the oak went in on East Scranton today to see that the mulch by Mariani was pushed right against the bark of the trees. You're not supposed to put mulch directly against the bark of a tree. And they did, and it disappoints me because it can lead to rot of the lower bark, and then the tree can die 4 or 5 years from now. And then so I actually went along to see how deep the mulch was against every tree, and the last tree that I came to, the last one they planted today, they left the burlap ball and the rope tied around the base of the tree, buried under the mulch. And I'll give you this to give to Mariani, because that would result in the death of the tree. You're not supposed to leave rope tied around a tree.
All right, we'll get rid
So
of it.
I'm, and I'm particularly perturbed because I, amongst other people, were disappointed that the 3 mature, good condition honey locusts were removed, even though the plan said they were to stay.
Yeah.
You know, it's done, but is there any, have you offered the village an extended warranty for those public parkway trees that are newly planted now, as an offset from removing 3 30-year-old good condition honey locusts? Has there been any discussion about that?
No, there haven't, but, you know, I think that's something we can look into. So we have planted those honey locusts in our other developments, and I look at one every day, and was planted 4 years ago, 5 years ago, and it is now 42, 43 foot tall, and they are doing really well.
Okay, well, I hope they do.
Yeah, I know, so I mean, you
Because
know,
the 3 on the library side, are mature.
Yeah, no, and I think
They're all
it's-
matching trees
and I think
along there.
it's a good tree for that condition, for
Okay.
sure. Yeah, I mean, that's why we like, and we like it because it isn't so dense, so that it doesn't block a ton of light into the units too. This has been-
But once again, I do hope you build again in the village, because the project was so clean, and compared to what you had to do in our downtown area, it
Well,
really
thank
was
you.
a great project.
Yeah, no, and we appreciate I think one is that, is an effort on our part to make sure that, everyone in the neighborhood is aware of what's going on, and there's been a good communication between Drew and us in terms of, what events come up and what can we do during the parade, what for the cycle, to make sure that it all, I mean, we're here, we're not going anywhere. We'd like to do another project too. Not sure where, yeah, so it's been very positive for us too. I mean, it's been, even though I've been here a long time, I always learn something about Lake Bluff, and, it is a great community. It is, from outside people coming here, they go, wow, this is really a great place to live. I mean, you don't have to sell Lake Bluff. All you have to do is come here on a Friday afternoon or Friday morning and go to the farmer's market, and then have a, Sunday concert, and that, I mean, it is really a terrific place to live. And so, fortunately, we were able to, enhance that. We would absolutely enjoy doing another project here, in the future, for sure.
Okay, and then here's the area starred there is the section that talks about somehow differentiating that sidewalk across that steep exit driveway.
Okay.
Because I know we spent about probably a half hour,
No, I
the
know. that
very
we-
last meeting we had with you.
Yeah.
Being concerned about there are
I
a
know
number
the
of residents
view-
that
the
were
views
here,
out
and you
are-
promised the residents too that you would do something, and it got built into the ordinance, so
Okay, we'll take care of it.
thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, just follow up on the excellent comments by all the commissioners. I would like to commend you on an excellent project. I'm glad to hear that it's sold out, so to speak, and that people are going to be moving in shortly. Just a couple questions, Mr. Whitmer, with respect to the penthouse area. The owners have the opportunity to put in vegetation similar to what you see on McKinley, then, I take it?
if we go back the one, the first site plan, the first.
Oh, all the way to the
Yeah,
beginning?
there we go. Yeah, there we go. So, yeah, so, because of our structure, we are limited to the weights of what we do on that building. So we have to be concerned about, so the weights that we have on McKinley project are a lot higher. So there are not as large, the larger trees and that we're not able to really accommodate just for the loading of the structure. But they do accommodate, you can see how one built out one, the one in the south west corner sort of, was a lot more, has a lot more elements to it than the other ones are a little more simple. I think what we've found is people spent a huge amount of money on the McKinley project from their outside structures, because that's just like the inside. It's sort of yours to do, and it costs you years to do, and found that, these are probably a little more appropriate. People don't use it as much as they think they use it. So we've encouraged people to, just do a nice little outdoor space. Don't do the botanic gardens out there.
Okay.
So that's kind of it. But there will not be the larger trees like what we have on McKinley up there.
Okay. No, good to know, just
Yeah, just
because
for you.
you'd certainly notice them on McKinley. And
Yeah,
from my
absolutely.
perspective, they look very, very nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
No, but I have no concerns about the proposal either.
Great.
Any further discussion?
Just while this plan is up here, are the planters in that butt against the outside wall there, are they as high then as the wall?
No,
42?
they're step down. Yeah.
So they're lower so that,
And there's
no
a space
concern?
there's space between the wall and the planter itself.
oh, there
Yeah,
is,
you can't-
okay.
yeah,
I was
you can
just
get one
worried
to-
about a child
Yeah.
suddenly seeing that. And then the four gates off of the four different patio areas that go to the general mechanical roof, are they normally locked? The residents are told not to get out on the mechanical area of the roof, is
They
that?
usually have key locks on them for that. Yeah, no, for the maintenance people to come to get at the mechanical. You don't really have access to the regular
They're
roof.
not permitted, so
Right.
on the 4th of July, there won't be 500 people up there on the,
Well, yeah, that, I mean, the membrane.
along the front, I'm talking about outside of their patio areas.
Yeah, well, when
streaming out of those gates.
it's funny, when you're there, it's about this tall.
Oh, it is that high?
Yeah, because you're down another, at the edge is where it all slopes out to the edge, so you're a foot plus another, probably a foot and a half down from the structure, so you're even further, so it's pretty hard to see out. You
Okay.
really can't see over when you're on the roof right now.
All right, thanks.
Excuse me, excellent comments. Any other discussion among the commissioners?
Just checking in, Max, no further neighbors, just the one neighbor that had given a comment?
That's correct. We had the one public comment that was included in your packet.
Okay.
Yeah, and I talked to Lee, I talk to Lee
Right.
all the time.
That was
But,
definitely,
yeah, and then Kevin, I was not able to get a hold of the person who bought the house in the corner. But Lee's pretty good at letting
communicating.
everybody know what's going on the North Avenue there.
Great.
All right, hearing nothing further, is there a motion, please? And I believe we're a recommending body on this particular petition.
I move to recommend the village board approve the requested relief in the form of the attached approval order.
Second.
I second.
Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, do we have a vote, please? And we'll close the public hearing.
Commissioner Barry,
Yes.
Commissioner Danley,
I,
Commissioner Fisher,
Aye.
Commissioner Miller,
Aye.
Commissioner Russell,
Aye.
Chairperson Peters.
Aye. Motion carries, obviously. Next steps for Mr. Whitmer.
Is actually to the ABR. So he's working with Mike Croak and to get in front of their group, and I believe either September or October, they meet that first week. Have you connected with Mike?
We have not, but we
Okay.
will ASAP.
He knows it's coming, so we'll connect all the dots here. And okay, absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Agenda item number 5. Mr. Morgan, if you could introduce.
Sure. So item number 5 is a work session with Ed Pasquazi from Pasquazi Home and Gardens, and which is a existing business, a pioneering business here in Lake Bluff at 975 North Shore. And Mr. Pasquazi has engaged the village, really seeking feedback on a request, and he's brought a visual here today. Would you like me to put the original site plan on the screen? This relates to outdoor storage at the business, and looking for a bit of an expansion. And just wanted comments and to take the temperature of this group on what might be appropriate and palatable for this group. So, Mr. Pasquazi, if you want to come up, and I will.
I wonder if you should put it like in the middle.
Or the other side so the camera can shoot at it. The camera's up above your head.
I think,
Good
But I think that's,
he'll be putting it up on the screen.
Oh, okay, okay.
It won't have the red line. We didn't get the annotated version, but as soon as this packet loads, I will have it.
I'm Ed Pasquazi, and this is my daughter, Cindy Pasquazi Thorson. And our family, we own Pasquazi Home and Gardens. I think we all know where it is. Before I get to the reason we're here, I'd like to quickly point out, the space that we allocate to our store. So, I don't, can everybody see, or should I bring this closer?
We can see, all right, over here anyway.
This will be much better. So, this is a footprint of our garden center. And again, I'd like to point out how we allocate the different space to the various products that we carry. So we have 16,000 square feet in the main building, the brick and mortar store, so to speak. And then we have approximately 2,000 square feet here on the north side. That's a greenhouse, and then we sell indoor plants here. And then we move out to the main greenhouse. We call this the flower market. That's where we sell annuals, perennials, so on. And then we move out into the nursery yard. We have approximately a little over 30,000 square feet that we allow to trees, shrubs, and evergreens. Now, 95% of our all plants is retail to homeowners. Now, we see an opportunity to expand our nursery to the landscape market. Everybody in this area, pretty much as a landscaper. So, we see an opportunity there, particularly that without naming, businesses, there's a garden center in Northbrook that serves that market. But as of the end of the year, they'll be going out of business. If we go out on 22 half day, there was a nursery there, and they move out to Lake Zurich. Now that's quite a distance. Now there's another one up in west of Waukegan. Again, that's quite a distance. So, geographically, we think we're perfectly located. So what we're asking, would it be possible for us to expand towards Waukegan Road? Now, from the curb of Waukegan Road to our fence line, presently, we have a 75-foot setback. Ideally, if this were permitted, you know, we would like to ask for, if we could expand 30 feet out into minimum 25 feet. If we went 25 feet, obviously, we would be left with a 50-foot setback. If we go 30, it would be 45. But, you know, we think we have an opportunity to serve that market. No, everything that we sell now is in container and pots, plastic pots, obviously for the retail trade. Now, we would expand into much bigger material, and you know, B&B, ball and burlap, so where the material would have a much bigger ball. And for that, we would need more space. And needless to say, but obviously, you know, we would, you know, this is built, but all our landscaping would, you know, we would re-landscape the facility, you know, as it is now. And the ground, you know, would all be pervious. We would use what we have here, we would use it's a reddish, what it's called rotten granite. It's really a fine granite. So in essence, that's about it. And I can say that, you know, okay, so what's the benefit to the village for this? We think we would have the opportunity to grow our business by $2.5 million. So, that's it. So,
Thank you, Mr. Pasquizzi.
yes.
Any questions from the commissioners?
What's the current setback now?
No, you know, I have a hearing problem, so my daughter will help out if,
Okay. Thank you.
What's the current setback for the village?
75 feet apparently.
75 feet from the curb, 50 feet from the front, from the property line. Right now, to his outside fence, the
Oh, to where
fence
it's
that's
now.
there behind all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
landscaping. Would you, Mr. Pasquazi, would you, the entire area is burned in front of your facility along Waukegan. Do you envision keeping the same grade inside the fence? I'm assuming you would have the same type of fence.
yes.
Yes.
You would just move that back and you would cut so that you wouldn't be elevating the
No.
area that you're proposing to move
No.
out.
And inside which it's a wrought iron fence,
Yep.
inside is paved, or it's pavers, so that would just be the same to match what's
Do you
currently
envision
there.
that some of, because there are some very mature trees that are more than 30 feet into your intended expanded area, would you envision that you would try to save the mature trees that are out in the,
Yes, we would, to the extent.
anything that could be saved?
Yeah, to the extent that we can, you know, and we would hire, you know, Mariani to do our, you know, design and, yeah.
Okay.
To the extent that we can, certainly we would want to do that. Yes.
And the level of landscaping that you have there now, would you try to more or less, I'm not saying make it identical, but more or less
Not try,
duplicate that?
we would do it.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
That's, you know, we pride ourselves into, you know, really have the best landscaping in the industrial park.
I would agree with you 100%. I think you're the only, only commercial owner out there
It's our
that
business.
has maintained the landscaping that they put in from the get-go. I compliment you, your site is gorgeous. I personally, based on what you said, unless there's a surprise when you come forward with the final design, I'm in support of it. There are, as you look and walk down Waukegan Road, there are many areas where there are many mature trees that are at the front property line, which is 25 feet behind the curb. They're asking to go
25, 30.
either 25
Or 30.
30 out from where you are now. That would still leave 45 or 50 feet from the curb line. I know that the next property owner to the north has a fenced-in property, paved area there, the car dealer, with no landscaping at all. That clearly goes beyond where your current fence is now, the corner of it anyway. And there are other properties down the way where there's just a lot of mature landscaping out, I think probably just grow up natively, all along Waukegan Road there. So it's not an open area. So I just don't think, given the quality of what you do, that it would have any impact.
Yeah.
When the village did a study back in 2011 for Waukegan Road, what we call the Waukegan Road Study, the actual recommendation of that study was that buildings be allowed to go within 50 feet of the front property line. So I'm not opposed personally to what you're suggesting.
Thank you.
No, thank you, Member Russell. Who'd like to go next?
I will.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. I drove there this evening or this afternoon and was looking, and it does seem like the car dealer to the north, perception-wise, juts out a good amount closer to Waukegan than you do. And as long as you're somehow able to try to keep some of those landscape features, which you'll be doing just by the product that you're going to be selling there as well, too.
Yes.
I don't have a problem. I'd actually like to see less green space and a little bit more more, I think that's a positive, not a negative. So I'd be in favor of it, and, thank you for doing it and such.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dick.
Well, we want you to thrive, and we want you to succeed, and we appreciate you being here in Lake Bluff. And, I just look forward to not only bringing my dog family to myself at times as a relief, but it's just been a real joy. So I have no issue. I've driven by, I see what we have. You always think, if you give somebody a little bit, is everybody going to be asking? But I feel like this is an exception, and as well as there's others that are closer and not your care and beauty that you have. So I have no issue whatsoever, even if it's, I just worry, go for the 30, but, you're saying 25, 30, but I'm sure you're going to figure out the numbers on what really is the best and what you need, what your needs are once you
Yeah,
work with the
30 feet
planners.
would give us 11,000 additional square feet. 25 would give us just a little over 9,000, And frankly, you would call this re-wholesale. Obviously, we would sell products to the trade for, a little bit cheaper. And it would require a lot more space than what we have, but it's what we have, so we're gonna have to do the best we can with what we have. But, we're fortunate to be in an area as we are, and by the way, we're delighted to be in Lake Bluff, really, it's been good for us, so.
Mark?
Just for my personal, to be absolutely clear, you're envisioning taking something similar to the existing Waukegan Road facing landscape and just moving it closer. So there would be the same level of, you wouldn't be able to see through buffering to the same degree as going forward.
Absolutely, you
Yeah.
can have my word on that.
The other thing I was wondering about that I haven't heard anything about is, can your property handle additional traffic due to contractors? Is there a I'm not sure, I don't remember the word, but the traffic flow kind of conversation to be had. And then the other thing I was wondering about is if somebody from the village could talk about what it says in the master plan on the green belt part of the conversation for that whole Waukegan corridor?
Generally, those people, come in early in the morning,
Yeah.
Our business is an early business. We get there 6 in the morning, and landscaper will be there at 7,
Yeah.
because they want to go out
Yeah.
and get the job done. So, we don't see an increase in traffic that's
Have you,
during the day. Oh,
May I, really quickly, just to talk, so we talked about the issue of circulation, and one of the things Mr. Pasquesi and I and staff talked about was expanding here, maybe here was an option, but there's other plans for this in the future, but they do maintain this access here, here, and here. They have 3 access points. So this is one of the better suited sites in terms of access in the
Okay.
office park, and I would say it's generally overparked. We talked about the parking is, there's excess parking for what they have today.
Yep.
So we weren't concerned with that. And when this went in originally, there wasn't a traffic signal. Now there is, right? So that's from a safety standpoint, that's better for people, just much better than a lot of intersections in the village along Waukegan Road specifically.
And, talking about the traffic circle, we contributed $100,000 to the city. Thank you, Drew, for, and this was, Drew, throughout their idea, expanding this way. We would like to, because we see ourselves in the future to expand our store. And so, and the indoor greenhouse. So we would want to see that for future company. Move that
I think your point is well taken.
to expand.
For me, your point is well taken, that the contractors are there early, and your retail people don't come probably till 9 o'clock or after.
I know, officially, we open at 9, but really, people come in at 7.
Sure.
We take care of it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark. Elliot?
I have nothing to add. I think it's a
I was
wonderful
wondering about the
idea.
Greenbelt conversation, but
I was
the
gonna
master
address that.
plan?
I'm sorry?
Do you want me to talk about that?
Yeah, could you for a minute, just like, what does the master plan say about
and
that?
it was one of those when we met with Mr. Pasquesi, that came up as something that the village for a while was trying to protect. That if you think about, there's a couple areas like down Sheridan Road, there's a green belt down
Yeah.
this area, and that was a struggle for the village. And when the Waukegan Road corridor study looked at that, that study was, allow more structures, allow more, but ultimately the village, I think, didn't adopt a different standard, but was, I think in traditional Village of Lake Bluff style says, we'll review them as they come along. And so, so there was never another standard in terms of, let's not just generally grant rights into property. We want to take project by project.
Yeah.
And I think you can see that, certainly that was the village's approach. If you look at the original ordinance, which I believe you all copied on, the approval, that there was a litany, that was straight zoning relief. There was a litany of relief. And today we would say, use the planned commercial development tool. That is the most effective and efficient way to go through this process. And presuming Mr. Pasquesi pursues this project, that we will recommend that it's a qualifying property in terms of land area. You could go through the process, getting a preliminary and final concurrently, and it makes all the sense in the world. And then also the relief, any relief is held to a slightly lower bar to get over in terms of addressing modification versus straight variations. So from a process, it'll be different, and you'll see, if again, you look at it as a use variation, literally the first one through the wall in that district to develop a retail center. But the Greenbelt, again, was just an idea of like, it'd be nice to keep this, and the consultants were recommending loosen up on that. And so you see, like, as they talked about the Ferrari dealership creeping a little bit, and so as they take them on individually, that was the desire of the direction then.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, just a couple other questions, Mr. Pasquesi, and a few comments. Like the commissioners, you've done just a tremendous job with respect to your business, with respect to the presentation, the landscaping that you have in place during the summer and fall. I drive by every night coming back from the office, and it's just fascinating because I look more carefully at it tonight just to visualize what could happen. And it seems from the discussion that you'll basically bring that same sort of landscaping out closer to Waukegan Road. You'll have perhaps the berm that you do now, and you're not going to be moving to the north, at least right now.
No.
Okay,
And on the north, what can we have, it's only a 25 feet, I believe. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And then it seems like,
Because it's a secondary street, I guess, it's a,
Okay.
No, we don't, we would not, no.
and it looks like now you have usually a little bit of excess parking in case you wanted to move toward the east or something, so I guess, one other question for the commissioners. Where do we stand on the 45 versus 50 foot or 25 versus 30 feet?
Ideally 30 feet. but,
Right.
We'll take what,
Is there a general,
I'd be fine with 30.
I think
because
the way the landscaping is going to go, it's going to look a lot nicer than a lot of the other properties, even at 30 feet,
okay. So I think there's a
in my mind.
general unofficial consensus that 30 feet might be acceptable to the commissioners, so I think it's just a tremendous opportunity, and you've been such a tremendous neighbor and commercial business, it's just great.
thank you. Greatly appreciate it.
We'd love to see you get to 2.5 million extra.
We'll try to do better. We have tried to, we want to be conservative.
Any other comments or questions from the commissioner, or any other questions for us, Mr. Pasquesi?
No, again, we appreciate being in Lake Bluff.
No, we appreciate your being here.
Yeah. I have 3 kids, 2 live in Lake Bluff. Yeah, it's a great community. And we raised a family in Lake Bluff. Probably the best community in the North Shore to raise a family.
No, that's tremendous. Yeah. No, thank you for taking the time this evening.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 6, Mr. Morgan, what do we have?
Sure, this is our staff report, just an update from me. And really, I think the pertinent update is for next month's meeting, on the 16th, we have received an application, so we'll have our regularly scheduled meeting on that day. And we also have our joint session with the ABR. That's going to be on the 22nd. Thank you all for the mini doodle poll responses. We wanted to make sure there was maximum attendance. And so we'll be going back into our R5 district study and picking up that work with Jody over at Tesco. She'll be joining us. And separately, we'll be collaborating with the ABR to talk about exterior lighting, whether there's a need for regulations or just kind of what the sense is from this group, from the ABR, and maybe community members with whom you engage about exterior lighting. And currently, there are no regulations here in Lake Bluff. And just answering the essential question, should this be something we're looking into for an update or new rules and regulations?
Is for residential or commercial? Or?
That's the discussion we'll have, but that's a great question. Yeah, residential, commercial, it could be that this group says, yeah, we're interested in one, but maybe not the other. And that's really what this session is going to be about. We'll be joined for that with John Barentine, who is a consultant that we've worked with previously to talk about exterior lighting. He is a great asset to this conversation, and I think will impart plenty of wisdom and be available to address questions, share best practices, case studies, et cetera. He's been great to work with so far, so looking forward to getting him in front of this group. Any other questions about updates, what's going on in community development or the village at large?
Nothing with the other project on Block 3?
come on, that was an easy one. You could have given that to me.
Okay, I have a slightly more difficult question. Either one of you can jump in and answer
Okay.
it. Can you give us, and maybe some of my fellow members have been more aggressive in following and looking at the village board, but I'm aware from just looking at the board agenda items that our friends from Lake Forest Sports Car that wanted the helicopter pad turned around and asked for tax
Economic
relief
incentive.
from the village, and I think they got some sort of approval. Could you just give us the 1-minute synopsis of,
It's-
rather than us reading the?
Yeah, it's very similar to the Target deal. They're doing a couple different things and changing operations, and they are doing 2 major improvements. They've already put $500,000 in on a very light touch for Pagani dealership within the building, and they're going to be doing a extensive makeover at the directive of Ferrari in a few years. And their expected investment is over $6 million, and are looking to share some of that cost with the village. And so the village board has agreed to, just as with Target, is protect the existing revenue streams, and anything above that, share with them. They get over the existing, I'll call it existing sales tax generated, and then after that level, we share 50-50. And that's what the village did that with Target, and so it's this identical scenario and agreement, and it holds them here. They had the opportunity, they have numerous dealerships, several in Hoffman Estates, where they already had sales tax sharing agreements. So they could simply just move it there and take advantage of economies of scale.
That's perpetuity.
It is, the agreement is they have, essentially holds them here for 15 years, or they have to pay back 100%. And then it's a clawback provision, and then that, as time goes on towards the final, it gets reduced. So
Still a win-win for the village.
it's a win for the village. We're protected, keep a large sales tax generator, good business, and they make investments in the property and changing other operations where one of the things in the auto industry we learn about these interesting trades is that, inventory matters, and if you're shopping, and so that's one of the things they're going to be able to do is, as a very large entity, they can have the capital to increase their product line, and that's what sells cars when people have choices. And so they believe they're going to do a much bigger volume than the previous owner, and that's their plan.
Can't talk them into changing their name to Lake Bluff Sports Cars.
What do we care? Sales tax comes to Lake Bluff.
Yeah.
Build the brand.
There's no sense of pride.
Build the brand. I noticed very quickly, just out of the corner of my eye, when I left the Pasquesi site today, that there's some sort of earth grading going on in front of Lake Forest Sports Car at the far northwest corner of their building. It almost looked like a foundation excavation starting at, are we aware, because any of that would be in the setback, the official setback right now, and
I'm not certain. I'll have to look into that. I don't know.
okay.
Yeah, that was my question, just, are they doing a facade change there and stuff, or what are they doing?
They are doing a facade change on their western elevation.
Right.
It used to be like I'll call it like Georgian columns, and so they're redoing that, and their customer area, parking area, guest parking area. Off the top of my head, I don't remember a structure that would be in the setback, but yeah, I don't remember that. It could be utility pad. I'm not sure. I'll look into it.
And then this is kind of off topic, but when I left Pasquesi today, before I got around the Lake Forest Sports Car, I decided to go east down North Shore Drive, take a right on Sherwood Terrace, and then come back on Sherwood Drive, so our southernmost street. And, it was right about 4:30. Traffic's heavy on Waukegan Road, and I was surprised that there were 3 cars stacked up trying to turn left. And I don't, across all that traffic, when there's a curve on Waukegan Road, and they have the advantage of the traffic light.
Signal, yeah.
And it struck me with the doctor's office and everything, and people maybe coming out of Lake Forest. I don't know how often there's a a bad accident there, but I imagine we have, because the speed, I was even, a little nervous about turning right, let alone trying to turn left across traffic. If we have ever talked to the medical facilities down there that have the transient traffic all the time, different people coming in, maybe a lot from south from Lake Forest, that they're not even aware that they could exit safely on Waukegan Road
Like going around.
via traffic light. It just seems like, I don't know how often the bad accidents happen, but if they are happening, maybe we ought to think about contacting those people and seeing if they can't put some information out on their customer counters to alert people that there is a much safer way to turn left going out of, onto Waukegan. And anyway, just,
Yeah, we can reach out to them. And off the top of my head, I think most accidents on Waukegan Road happen at 176. But, and I'm not aware of any in that location. Doesn't mean there aren't, but
I mean, part of the whole thought.
to the point is certainly we can reach out to that facility and they can direct people to, I'm sure they say, here's directions how to find us. By the way, go here.
I'm just thinking
Yeah.
that some people may
Yeah,
not be
we can do
aware
that.
that the opportunity exists,
Yeah.
and that was part of the whole thrust of the new traffic signal back then.
Yep.
Was great. It'll give the south
Protected
loop
turns,
an
yep.
ability to turn left across Waukegan traffic with a signal.
Yeah.
Just random thought.
Yep. Good.
I wonder if you could contemplate creating one-way east on Sherwood, and that would take care of it, George.
That's
Then
for
you have
Max
to
and
go through
Drew
a
to worry
circle.
about.
Pardon?
I don't think the business was like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
because you got, what, a pediatric office?
Yep,
tucked
Lake Forest
away.
Peds, yep.
And gynae. Gynae, physical therapy,
Oh, are there that many?
veterinarian,
Yeah, there's
a lot of medical stuff there.
Oh,
not many vacancies back there.
well, that's good. Anything else? Commissioners report, I think we got that covered. All right, agenda item number 8, motion to adjourn,
Motion.
so moved. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you very much, very interesting meeting.
Yes, absolutely.